Good morning, children. In today's English classroom for class 11th. So today we are doing Ranga'S marriage, one lesson we have taken from the snapshot supplementary reader. So today is the part 3 and this will be the last part of this lesson. We already have completed part 1 and 2. So before going to start the today's lesson, I would like to give a brief recapitulation of part 1 and 2. So part 1 and 2, what we have done, we have seen the narrator described elaborately about the Hosahalli village. Ranga was the accountant's son of Hosahalli village, and he was the first to move to Bangalore for higher studies, and he returned back now. His homecoming was a big event. People gathered around in his house to see the changes that has brought in Ranga, but they didn't find any much changes, noticeable changes. Okay, now our narrator talked to his Ranga, and Ranga expressed his views about marriage, that he didn't like to get married with a minor girl. Minor girl means a girl who is not matured enough. Okay, his views of marriage was quite different from the prevailing or the prevalent belief of marriage. So, looking at Ranga and talking with Ranga, our narrator Shyama decided that he will get Ranga married with a good or suitable girl. And according to him, the suitable girl was Ratna. Ratna was the niece of Rama Rao. Okay, so he made a plot. What was that plot? That he will do something to bring them closer. Right. So he, according to his plan, what he did, he called Ratna to his house on the pretext of sending some buttermilk for the wife of Ramarao, isn't it? And also called for Ranga in his house. So we'll see that rendezvous, okay, that meeting point in his house. What happens now, we'll see in the text next. Now Ratna came. It was Friday, so she was wearing a grand sari. I told her to sit in my room and requested her to sing a song. I sent for Ranga. Means the narrator is saying that he sent someone to call Ranga. While she was singing the song Krishnamurti in the front of my eyes, Ranga reached the door. Yes. He didn't want, actually, the song was very much melodious, so Ranga wanted to listen that song. He didn't want the singing to stop, but curiously he was very curious to see the singer. Okay. Now Ratna looked up and seeing a stranger there abruptly stopped. Suppose now Ranga was very much felt very much astonished and awkward actually when Ratna stopped singing. So what he did means that whole situation has been brought described by the narrator beautifully. You'll see that comparison. Suppose you buy the best quality mango, you eat it slowly, savoring its peel before biting into the juicy flesh. You don't want to waste any part of it. Before you take another bite, the fruit slips out of your hand and falls on the ground. How do you feel? Okay, Ranga's face showed that sad disappointment. Now Ranga repeatedly glanced at her. Okay, and as he felt very much awkward, Ranga said, "It was my coming in that stopped the singing, isn't it? So let me leave." Words, mere words. He was saying that let me leave, but he was not leaving. So this is a kind of satiric comment of the author on Ranga. Yes. Now after a while, Ranga asked, "Who is that girl, Swami?" Sorry. Who is that girl, Swami? Okay. Now we'll see. It means what? That Ranga became a little bit impressed by Ratna's song, isn't it? And that's why he asking that who is that girl, Swami. Now our author, our narrator said, I said, what does it matter to either of us who she is? I am already married, and you aren't the marrying kind. Are you getting? I suppose you understood this, the meaning of this statement. He said that what is the meaning to get information about that girl? Because I am already married, and you're not the marrying kind, means you don't want to marry a girl of minor age. Now, she isn't married then. Okay. Now, very hopefully he asked. Okay. Ranga asked that she isn't married then. His voice didn't betray his excitement, but I knew it was there. She was married at years ago. Now, author said, the narrator said that Ratna, got married 1 year ago. His face, now Ranga actually was not very happy, listening that statement. Rather, see, his face shriveled like a roasted brinjal. He was very much unhappy, and that unhappiness could be seen, that frustration. That's why he said that his face shriveled like a roasted brinjal. Okay, after a while, Ranga left, saying, I must go. I have work at home. Isn't it? I have some work at home. On that pretext, he left the place. I went to our Shastri. Now, what happens? See, after this episode, our narrator could gaze that some sort of interest Ranga had developed on Ratna, listening the song, isn't it, after that meeting. So that's why now he made the second plot. What is the second plot? He went to the astrologer of their village. Okay. And now, with the help of the Sastri, the astrologer, he wanted to trap him. Isn't it? Made him to confess that actually he was interested on Ratna. Isn't it? We'll see that. I went to Sastri the next morning and told him, keep everything ready to read the stars. I will come later. Tutored him. This is very important line. Tutored him in all that I wanted him to say. So he tutored him that what will be the questions, what is the problem. He told him everything. Okay, and he met some situation where Ranga would get trapped, isn't it, to get married, or rather to confess that he actually liked Ratna, isn't it? So we'll see. I found no change in Ranga when I met him that afternoon. What's the matter? You seem to lost in thought. I said, nothing is wrong. Believe me, headache. Come, let's go to see a doctor. Okay, next. I had no headache. I am usual self. Okay, now what happened? He took him finally to the Sastri. Okay, come, let's go and see Sastri, I suggested. We'll find out whether Guru and Shani are favorable for you or not. Okay, now what happened? As soon as they reached Sastri's house, what a surprise, Syama! He exclaimed. Who? Sastri. Oh, what a surprise, Syama. I haven't seen you for a long time. Syama is none other than your servant, the narrator of this tale. Now, this is for the first time he disclosed his name, the narrator. Syama is the name of the narrator. We already know that. I got angry and shouted, what? Only this morning? Sastri completed my sentence. Syama, our narrator, forgot that actually they had made that plot and all, isn't it? So that's why he stated, what, this morning only I came. I have tutored you everything, that what you are supposed to say. I will bring Ranga along with me. You are supposed to say all these things about Ratna, isn't it? So he forgot actually for a moment, and as soon as he stated that only this morning, the Sastri didn't allow him to complete that sentence. He himself, Sastri completed the sentence and saved actually him from that situation. You finished all your work and are now free to visit me. Okay. Now finally, Sastri turned to Ranga. Okay, then when did the young son of our accountant clerk come home? What can I do for him? It's very rarely that he visits us. Now Sastri said that he rarely comes here. What is the problem? What can I do for you? So take your paraphernalia. Rangappa seems to have something on his mind. Can you tell us what's worrying him? So now our narrator came on the scene and told him that bring your paraphernalia. What is paraphernalia? Paraphernalia are the things which is being used for a particular, means gadgets, isn't it, which are required. For example, for a teacher, what are the paraphernalia? The chalk, duster, sometimes some teaching aid, isn't it, book, all these things are paraphernalia. Okay, so it's the paraphernalia. For a doctor's stethoscope, then thermometer, all these things are paraphernalia. So for he said that take out your paraphernalia, or Rangappa has some problem, you must have to solve that problem. Once he stated, now what he did, Sastri, get ready with all those calculation, and he did some more calculations before saying a serious tone. He told him, it's about a girl. He now stated, this is about a girl, the matter is about a girl, and that is what is giving trouble to him. Now, I had been controlling my laughter all this while, the narrator is saying that, but now I burst out laughing. I turned to Ratna, exactly what I had said. Who is that girl? It was your humble servant who asked the question. Now, Sastri thought for a while before replying. She probably has the name of something found in the ocean. Now he stated, making the whole thing more puzzling, rather, isn't it? And trying to bring somewhat to the name of, comes somehow to the name of Ratna, isn't it? So that's why she stated that yes, it is about a girl which is giving him mental trouble, or within some trouble is there, means for conflict is there in the mind of Ratna. It is about a girl, and the name of the girl have some relation with ocean. She probably has the name of something found in the ocean. Okay, now our narrator said, Kamala, maybe he said that, is it Kamala? Could it be Pachi, the moss? Must it be moss if it is not Kamala? Why not pearl or Ratna, the precious stone? Ratna, the girl in Ranga'S house is Ratna. Tell me, is there any chance of our negotiation bearing fruit? Definitely, he said. After thinking for some time, there was surprise on Ratna's face and some happiness. I noticed it. Now, as soon as he stated, for first he said, what? Is it Kamla? Means what the, actually all these things are being plotted, isn't it? All the things are being, these are not true actually. All the things are being, pre-planned, isn't it? So the Sastri said that the name of the girl, should have some relation of something that is found in the ocean. Now they are now guessing the name. Is it Kamla? Is it moss? Or is it pearl? Now, as soon as it is stated, our narrator, picked up the word pearl and said, Ratna. Ratna, we know one girl is there. I can't imagine that Ratna is the center of everything. Yes, now in this way, but that girl is married, I said. Then I turned to him. His face had fallen. Okay, earlier he was happy listening that name of Ratna. Now when the narrator stated, but that girl is married, as soon as he stated that, Ranga became very unhappy and his face had fallen. Now we left the place. On the way we, now from Sastri's home they came, isn't it? Went away from they left that place. On the way we passed by Ranga'S house. Ratna was standing at the door. I went in alone and came out a minute later. So on the way, Ranga'S house, comes. So what he did, Ratna was standing outside of their house. So our narrator left Ranga for a minute and went there in their house, and very soon he came out from there and now says, surprising, this girl isn't married. It seems someone told me the other day that she was married, but Sastri told us has turned out to be true after all. But Rangappa, I can believe that you have been thinking of her. Swear on the name of Madhavacharya and tell me, is that true what Sastri said? Now see how he trapped him, isn't it? Our narrator stated, He knew everything. Okay, he went inside now and came out with the information that the girl is not married. In this way, he asked Rangappa that I can't believe that you were thinking about her. Okay, and said that is it true? Whatever Sastri said. I don't know whether anyone else would have been direct. Ranga admitted. Now Ranga admitted there is greater truth in that Sastra than we imagine. What he said is absolutely true, and definitely after that there Sastri was at the well. When I went there that evening, I said, so Sastri Gile, so he talked with Sastri about what he acted and all these things. He thanked him also. Okay, now we'll see that finally they got married and they had children also. Now their offspring was, they named their son as Shyama, who Ranga and Ratna, their son was named after the narrator's name, that Shyama, isn't it? So that was it's Shyama's birthday. He is 3 years old. Okay, now tell me, is this what a decent man says? Rangappa had come the other day to invite me for dinner. What's the occasion? I asked. It's Shyama's birthday. He is 3. It's not a nice name, Shyama, I said. I'm dark. I'm like a dark piece of oil cake. Why did you have to give that golden child of yours such a name? Okay. Now in this way the thing proceeded. Finally we'll see. I went there for dinner. Syama, that child, their child, rushed to me when I walked in and put his arms around my legs. I kissed him on his cheek and placed a ring on his tiny little finger. So, and the narrator took the leave from us by saying, allow me to take leave of you, reader. I am always here ready to serve you. You were not bored, I hope. So this is what is the text, isn't it? So I suppose you understood that how he made that plot. Now we will come to these lexical items were there that I already have discussed, that paraphernalia, teachers paraphernalia, this. So paraphernalia means the little bit gadgets which are required for some work. Black hole of Calcutta I already have discussed in my previous period, isn't it? Now important areas we will see. Ranga, the protagonist, returns to the village Hosahalli after pursuing his studies at Bangalore. The narrator Syama gives a picturesque description of his village Hosahalli. The villagers admire Ranga because he is the first person from Hosahalli go to Bangalore for studies, that we have repeatedly stated. When Ranga comes back to Hosahalli after the completion of his studies, people rush to his house. Ranga's homecoming was a great event for the people of Hosahalli. Now, Syama goes to meet Ranga, and when he asks the latter about his views on marriage, he says that he wants to marry a girl who is mature. Syama decides to get Ranga married to Ratna. Now, Syama plans a meeting between of this Ranga and Ratna. Now, when Syama sees that Ranga has interest in Ratna, he tells that Ratna has already been married. Ranga feels low, and seeing this, Syama takes him to the astrologer. Syama has already tutored the astrologer, and the latter suggests that Ranga should marry Ratna. Later, Syama reveals the truth that Ratna is an unmarried girl. Thus, the narrator plays a pivotal role or a matchmaker in the marriage of Ranga. So, this is all about the lesson. I will see the humor, isn't it? That the statements which actually cause humor. Now, we'll see the crowd melted away like a lump of sugar in child's mouth. This is also this is a statement. People are like a flock of sheep. One sheep walks into a pit, the other following. In this way, number of occasions are there which creates laughter. Now, with this, we have come to the end of this lesson. I have attached one file with solved question answers. So, what I want that you will read that once again, isn't it? You will note down those questions in your copy. Thank you. very much.